Okay. All right. Okay. Now, this is my fourth take of this. It's not due to the camera, it's the lighting I've had a problem with. Okay, so welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 169. Yes, I've tried recorded this a few times. My light wasn't cooperating with me. I guess need a new light bulb because right now it's working perfectly fine. Yep, perfectly fine. So, with this episode, we are discussing episodes 83 and 84 of Himitsu Sentai Goranger. Yes, the last two episodes. Episode 83, we are basically shown the final monster, the final masked monster of the entire series, Tiger Mask. Excuse me, yes, that is his name, Tiger Mask. And no, this has nothing to do with wrestler Tiger Mask who works New Japan Pro Wrestling. Completely unrelated. As a matter of fact, the mask looks completely different with the actual wrestlers who actually have worn a mask. From what I've read, basically, there have been 7 people who wear the mask of Tiger Mask. I do not know who. I think one of the people who wears Tiger Mask, from what I've read, was actually Rocky Romero, who actually wore it when he won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. If you can't know who he is a Cuban wrestler who is pushing 40, and he basically wrestles a junior heavyweight. Yep, that's him for you. Currently, he's teamed back up with his old partner Temporetta as Roppongi Vice. Yep. So, in the case of this first episode here, we are dealing with the mass monster who turns out to be somebody who's acquainted with, of all people, Peggy. Well, see, the whole thing with this one is that basically the Gorangers are building a new flying fortress. Yes, something to comment the Varine because basically we don't have much time left. So it's built at this secret laboratory. Apparently, it was here later on, was actually Kanto Second Laboratory. Kanto Branch Second Laboratory, that's where it was being built. Now, why in the world they building this thing in a laboratory, I don't know. You would think, I don't know, a flying fortress, you would think they'd build it someplace like a hangar. Excuse me. But no, they build it right apparently it was right there. So, Tiger Mask, to get the info, goes to his human side, which actually turns out to be a character we've seen way back in episode 1 of Goranger. Peggy's former commander, who apparently she was also sleeping with him. Yeah, they're former lovers. They show later on in the episode they're basically going to like the beach. She's wearing like a 70s style swimsuit. Yep. So they reconnect, and apparently he's apparently is a smoker. He apparently also has got an injured leg. Now they never confirmed this guy actually died on screen. It's just that he was seen. Also, apparently he retired. Like he's like no longer part of. So yeah, here's something interesting though. The guy who plays him is also known for playing Counter Rider 1. It's a spinoff of. It's set in its own separate series. Its own separate series. Also in the series 70s as well. Basically him just transforming. So they have him make a quick guest appearance in this episode before he later on becomes this character. So then of course he drugs Peggy and basically kind of mentally tortures her to reveal their location. Which of course Blackheart's Army attacks the place, and all the characters you saw built a design of this thing at the start of the episode. Oh, they're pretty much killed by the end of the episode. And apparently don't bat an eye. And of course they, in the case of this one, where, how should I put this? Where they introduce these characters, but what this flying fortress is, they don't say what it is. It's just that they're making it, and apparently the laboratory making it was destroyed. So Peggy figures this out and eventually confronts and figures out, oh yeah, They figure out it's him because of a lighter. Yes, a lighter that was left behind. You're thinking, wait, a lighter? How the heck? Yes, seriously. A freaking lighter is the reason for this. Yeah, that is simply put basically the reason for it. Yeah. And then he's defeated. Basically, these human guys, I think this professor is killed by him, and it turns out, nope, it was a dummy. So he commits, he is human to commit suicide. Tiger Mask eventually killed by an iron trap. Yes. And by the way, this is by far, now, in the case this one, this was the first one, there is no endgame arc. It just basically is all wrapped up in the final episode of the series. Yes. So this one basically, now there's no more mass monsters. They're all gone. All that's left is just basically the Black Cross Fuhrer, Commander, and Chief Golden Mask, and they're grunts. That's it. There's no more monsters. So apparently there's this prophecy about Mars entering. Apparently it deals with ancient Babylonian, all about stars. And apparently that the Emperor is real. Apparently the Fuhrer is really weak against these stars. Yes, weak against them. Now the strange thing about the Black Cross Fuhrer is that the one thing the series is not going to, where the heck this guy came from, who he really is. Apparently he transforms into like a star, and he gets put in like this box. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they don't really go into it at all for some reason. I don't know why. So he challenges the Gorangers. It lasts for a little while, and then he just is weak. And apparently his clothes disappear into his head. I'm like, what the heck is this? He gets transported, and Golden Mask fights them. And then he gets hit multiple on all the weapons, and he does not get the end ball, surprisingly. Nope, he gets, well, turned to dust, and then apparently the dust allows the Black Cross to find the Goranger base, and they destroy the damn thing. And that's for the Varum, the basically the machine that our Rangers are flying, since episode 43. Yeah, apparently it has a little bit of fuel left. Apparently it has enough fuel to be in the air for 10 minutes. Yep, that's simply what happened here. So, so the plan is simply to trick Black Cross Fuhrer to confirm that he is weak against this particular W star. Yeah. And they go to this cave base. Now, this could be, and this is just my honest opinion, I think this is the same location they had at the start of the series. Yes, I believe so. It looked like the same. It looked like a very similar cave. I mean, the Red Ranger just walks right in here, and eventually that he goes to star form, and apparently it's for the Black Cross Fuhrer is in fact the Black Cross Castle, their weapon base, all along, which doesn't make any sense at all. And they destroy it the same way they destroyed the last base, by sacrificing their equipment. Yep. So they use stock footage from episode 54 for this episode, where they're basically riding along the hallways, using explosives with their Goranger machines, the new ones anyways, that they just got in episode 54. And the place is destroyed. Varum is rumored to have been lost, because basically they couldn't get off the ground. And how they get off there? The birdies. You have the little rockets they have on the side. And then basically everything's all goodbye. And like all the Zooters are dead. And that's it for Goranger. Now in the case of what happens next, the Gorangers next appear in Jack vs. Goranger, the first ever team, which I had previously discussed last year. That was their first appearance. And here's the strange thing. The actor who played Pecky was the only one to come back for that one. Though the actor who played our Ranger is already in Jack anyways. It was a good movie. I appreciate what they did. But it seems like they ignored a plot from Jack where Queen was in love with Jack. The Red Ranger team. Yeah, she had feelings for him. And by the movie, it's like the plot that was completely forgotten. And as for the Gorangers, well, I do the one thing I do criticize the movie for is the rushed story, and it's a good story. It just that it's like, oh, team up, shake hands, fight. That's it. Surprisingly, the Zooters do come back for this one. Yeah, this actually is one of their 2 returns they ever make in Super Sentai history. The next time you see him is not into the Ghost Ship movie for Goranger. That's the next time we see them. But in the case of any of the monsters, per se, Baseball Mask, he comes back in Goranger vs. Space Sheriff Gavin. That's where next time we see him. Great character he is. And what about the Black Cross Fury, you might ask? Well, he does come back. But what about the Generals? Oh, they're all dead. They never come back. They all stay dead. All the rest, only the Baseball Mask comes back. All the rest stay dead. Nobody gets revived. Nothing. Now, what about the Black Cross Fury? He would return. Like, here's the thing. Almost 40 years later, in the 35th anniversary film, Goranger vs. Goranger 199 Super Sentai Army. Yeah, where he come back as the main villain, and he looks completely different. Yeah, because if you look how he looks here compared to that movie, he looks like, appearance-wise, somewhat the same. His face is really different, probably because basically the current suit technology. It's probably the reason why for that. Where he teams up, he forms an alliance with the Zankiak, where, like, he has no interest in Earth at this point. He's like, you can have Earth. All I want is the Super Sentai and their allies. And the Prince is like, good. Fine by me. Go right ahead. Yep. And of course he revives several dead villains. He brings back Brock's Sentai counterpart. Baruch, I think his name is. He brings him back. They also bring back one of the villains from Goranger, and one of them was with Goranger, which is interesting. And he's put the main villain in the movie, and he comes back one other time I've seen. He comes back in a crossover with Kamen Rider. It's basically Super Sentai versus Kamen Rider, Superhero Tension. That's basically his next experience right after that. And, excuse me, but is there any other appearances by him aside from that one? When it comes to appearances, well, after those 2 movies, well, aside from Gokaiju Gosage and Superhero Sentai 199 Battle, he appears in the first Super Tension movie, and apparently Kamen X Super Sentai Chu Superhero Tension. Yeah, that was his last appearance to date that he appeared in. And that only came about 5 years ago. Yeah, so when it comes to the Black Cross Sphere, I have pretty much covered with this particular, like, finishing this up, I have pretty much covered everything for this guy. Yeah, it simply has. It is quite interesting, the fact that I have pretty much covered this stuff. So, in the case of main Super Sentai, he's done. Just basically crossover movies. That's just one cross movie is all I got left to go for him. And that's it. Yeah, simply, that is it when it comes to him. Now, my final thoughts on Himitsu Sentai Goranger. It is long. Really long. It is by far the longest Super Sentai series I have gone through. 84 episodes. Thank God none of them are this length. The only one's like closest length is basically Changeman. I will cover that in the future. Don't worry about that. Okay, since you just finished this one. Oh, by the way, in the case of the Go Rangers, after the events of this show, and of course the crossover movie, well, you might be thinking, do any come back after that movie, you might ask? Well, in the case of Peggy, well, she of course appears in Goranger versus, I think it's like Goranger versus there's a manga she appears in, but physically outside of that manga, well, she appears in a movie as Mo Ranger. She appears in Kamen Rider X Super Attention, the first movie. Mostly in Transform stuff. She doesn't appear outside of that for some reason. And she most appears in Suit. Yeah. But what about the other Rangers per se? Well, the Red Ranger himself will still occasionally appear after this. Yes, he appears a lot afterwards. And I do mean a lot. Yeah. So it's like right after the series wraps up, like aside from the team movie and the manga, like he appears for of course the 31st movie. He also appears in the final episode of Goranger. He apparently returns for 3 other movies. And like most guest stars, like he does appear in like episode 2 of a mini series known as 4-week continuous special Super Sentai Strongest, but appears in 2 episodes of that one. His last appearance to date was actually in a movie, Kamen Rider Saber plus Kuru Sentai Zenkenger Superhero Senkai. That is pretty much basically like where he appears, but he appears a lot more than all the rest of the actors. Sadly, the actor who played Daita would actually pass away about a year after this series wraps up. Yeah, it's like, okay, he passed, let's see, July. It was like a year later, probably when Jack was either going on at that point. Yeah, so he just basically did voiceover in that movie. Let's see. The movie came out in March. Yeah, so he basically died just a few months later. Apparently he committed suicide because he couldn't handle typecasting. That's what happened with him. Now, as for the other actors, well, what about the actor who played Goranger? Oh, he's still very much alive. Yep, he is. He still occasionally plays the character. As for Akka, well, oh yeah, he's definitely alive. Pairing himself like Kamen Rider and like various other stuff. Basically, this is what he's known for. Goranger, obviously, pairing Jack, O-Ranger as their commander, Goranger vs Super Sentai, and of course, he also he's over playing like 4 major characters in the history of Tokusatsu. O-Ranger, this one, Kamen Rider V3, Big One, and Zarbot. That was from a spin-off series. I might cover it in the future because it looks interesting. But the actress Peggy, she is still very much alive, and looking at her current picture, aside from being a little bit older, she hasn't really changed all that much at all. Nope, she hasn't. Of Asuka? Oh yeah, he's still very much alive. Sadly, the actor who played the commander, he actually died 22 years ago, so he's no longer alive. The second actor played Black Cross Fuhrer. He is still very much alive. I think the original has since passed away. Golden Mask, his actor is still very much alive. Now, I have enjoyed watching Goranger, reviewing it, but this took me a while to get through because it's 84 episodes, but next Sentai I'm watching, not this long. It's only 50 episodes, thank God. The next Sentai I'm going to go into is going to be Daiman. But before that, I'm going to watch Kamen Rider Amazon. Here's the reason I picked this one next. It's only 24 episodes. And that's it. Yes, 24 episodes. Now, in the case of In Reviews Tonight, well, I don't have more time to review this tonight, sadly, because I was distracted by doing something else. So, hopefully tomorrow I might get a chance to do these videos. Yes, I hope so. Also, I'm hoping basically I'll come home late from work like I did today. So, tomorrow I expect to see my first review for Kamen Rider Amazon tomorrow. along with hopefully get a chance to do Chainsaw Man. Because right now, if I watch it, I can watch it, yes, but I can't connect record until I get home. So I can't. So I like after if I would have to. I can't exactly record it because I had to look up research. I had to look up to see if there was any changes for it. I've been doing that basically just to basically see if anything's different. I mean, I like doing it. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Stay tuned for tomorrow for Cover Amazon, Chainsaw Man. Hopefully, Great Job Undefeated, and a comic or at least one, but it might be more. Okay. Next video. Bye.